Hey guys, my name's Alex. I'm a second year med student at the University of Navarra in Pamplona, Spain. But before I leave for class and give you guys a little bit of a tour, I want to tell you guys a little bit about why I'm actually studying here and not back home in Canada. Well, obviously the program's great, and I did mention that. I mentioned how it's 6 years, half of it is in English, or the first couple of years at the very least. But one of the main reasons that I moved was that I didn't want to stay in Canada. So if you're not aware, the way med school works in Canada is just like the States. 4 years, then you write an entrance exam, and if you get in, it's another 4 years. Thing is, there's some controversy now about the entrance exam for Canadian med schools, because it's harder to get in than it should be, is the general gist. And on top of that, I don't want to spend the first 4 years of university doing a BS degree just to get good grades and get in. So I wasn't really a fan of how the system works in terms of med school. I'm not a fan of how the medical system is actually working in Canada right now. There's a lot of issues with that. I'm not sure that I want to be a part of it. So then now I moved to Spain because right off the bat in first year, you're already getting practical knowledge, right? Of course, the courses are more practical and tailored to actual working as a doctor, but you're already starting with cadavers. Me in second year, I'm going to be starting shadowing doctors in the hospital as part of the surgery diploma, which I got into, which is the specification of the medical diploma that you can apply and get into. So there's a surgery diploma and the research diploma, which, again, tailor you more to what you want to know. So basically, yeah, I didn't want to stay in Canada, and I started looking. I looked at everywhere. I looked at the States, I looked at the Caribbean islands, I looked at Italy, I looked at France, I looked at the UK, even Romania. And again, most of those places I was looking at was because of one of the main things was that I speak the language to some extent, right? I speak Romanian, English, I speak very well, I hope you can tell. And Italian is basically a different version of Spanish, so I can get by with that. And between all of them, right, I chose the University of Navarra because, again, I really like the program. It has amazing connections. So even though I'm studying in Spain, I can go and do shadowing at Rochester University. I can go to the Hindenburg Institute in Germany. So there's a lot of great international output. I speak the language. And of course, that Spain is very well seen in terms of culture and going out and all that. So I knew that I'd have a good time. The price was also way more manageable than something like the UK as an international med student, because there you're getting up to £40,000 in tuition yearly. And here it's 16,000 euros per year. And of course, living costs, which are in general cheaper in Spain than some of the other places as well. So all those factors kind of mixed in, and what you got at the end was that Spain was the right place for me, both in terms of budget, in terms of culture, and I already spoke the language, so the transition wouldn't be as rough as it might be for somebody else. That being said, the university does offer foundation programs. So if you have zero background in Spanish, you can come, live here for a year, study in the university, and take courses that you think might be interesting so you can decide what program you might like most while you're learning Spanish. So that's very nice. Of course, if you have some background in Spanish, you can do their intensive summer course, which I believe is 4 weeks or 6 weeks. Something like that. And again, it's a lot of Spanish. Most years you do it here, right? So you come to Pamplona, you take Spanish classes all day, and then of course nightlife is yours. They organize events, they take you on weekend trips. So it's quite a nice program. It's something that I actually signed up for, but I got COVID, so I ended up doing it through Zoom, which again, I was doing it mainly to learn Spanish. But if you want to also come and get to know the city, it's a really good option as well. Now, of course, Pamplona is a university city. We have the Universidad de Navarra, which is one of the biggest universities in Spain and one of the highest ranking universities in Spain for most subjects. And we also have the Universidad Pública de Navarra, which is the public, the public university. Which is really nice because that means you can meet a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds, and make a lot of friends. So anytime you're going out, just make sure to talk to everybody, which is one thing that I would recommend. But yeah, so let me guys know what you want to see, and this week I'll make it happen. One thing that's really cool as well is that medicine here is bimestered instead of semestered, which means that you have 4 bimesters. Now, that could be nice, but one of the cons is that I have exams, final exams, every 8 weeks, which means that you always have to stay on point, and you always have to keep your studying habits solid throughout the year, or else you'll fall behind. But on the flip side, you also get only 1 or 2 courses at a time. So right now I am doing one course called Mechanisms of Disease, right? So we're talking about mostly infectious diseases, but cancer, and some genetic disease as well. And that I have basically 4 out of my 5 days are just that course. So the entire day, the entire 5 hours is just that course. There are also courses that you do throughout the year. This year in particular, we have ethics and medical practice, so a practical course, where you're kind of learning the skills of, how to insert catheters, how to do IVs. And those you do once a week. So this year it's Thursdays, last year it was Wednesdays, and that goes throughout the entire year. And your final exam will be in June. So it's pretty cool and pretty different from other universities. Today I'm going to be taking you guys on a little bit of a tour of campus. It's a pretty big campus, and it's very green. I think actually they won awards a couple of years ago for how green the campus was. So I personally enjoy it. Today's a Sunday, which means I should be able to get into all the buildings without disturbing any classes and show you everything there is to the Universidad de Navarra. So this right here is the central building. As you can see, quite fancy. Inside it's even more fancy. But like I mentioned, if you have any problems with your enrollment, visas, anything like that, you come here, right? So it's all the administration of the university, all in one place, which is quite useful. As I promised, this is the back of the science building. Beautiful sunset. This is the end, so I just finished class there. I had ethics, even though most of my classes are in the hexagon, which is at the other side. And if we have that little walkway, which is gorgeous. More classrooms, and here we have, I don't think there are any classrooms here, but this is where a lot of the teachers have their offices. So you'll probably meet a lot of them. And they also do a lot of research there, so you might be able to participate. And that building is the hexagon. Here we have another view of our beautiful hexagon, which is the main science building. So this is where I have all of my classes, pretty much. That we have olives on campus, which is really weird. I'm not sure if people actually eat them, but I tried one, it was still bitter. So maybe it's not the season. And as we see over there, that's the Museum of Navarra and a beautiful restaurant. So pretty cool.